Have you ever felt addicted to defending yourself? That burning urge to explain, to prove you're right, even when you know it leads nowhere. It's strange, isn't it? We don't realize how easily we get hooked. Not on substances, but on noise. On people who drain our peace just to feed their ego. There's always that one loudmouth, the one who talks over you, who has to win every conversation, who leaves you feeling smaller every time you speak. And yet, somehow, we keep engaging. We keep arguing. We keep feeding their chaos, because deep down, we crave to be understood. But here's the truth the Stoics understood centuries ago. Silence can be louder than words. When you master the art of calm, you take back power. You stop reacting and start commanding respect without raising your voice. In this video, I'll share 3 powerful Stoic-inspired phrases that silence loudmouths instantly. These aren't insults or comebacks. They're psychological tools that break the addiction to noise, chaos, and emotional traps. By the end, you'll see what true strength sounds like. Quiet confidence. The kind that doesn't need to shout to be heard. If you've ever been drained by toxic people or walked away from a conversation feeling defeated, this one's for you. Because peace isn't passive, it's power. So before we begin, hit that subscribe button. Join a community that values calm over chaos, growth over gossip, and power over pettiness. Together we'll build the kind of inner silence that no loudmouth can ever shake. Praise number 1. I'd rather listen than argue. Have you ever walked away from an argument feeling like you won, yet lost something deeper? Your peace, your control, your energy. It's strange how easily we get trapped by loudmouths, toxic people, and manipulators. They talk not to connect, but to conquer. Their words are weapons designed to pull you into their emotional battlefield. And before you know it, you're fighting for something that never really mattered. This isn't weakness. It's psychological mastery. When you say those 5 words, you're not surrendering, you're reclaiming control. You're telling the manipulator, you can shout, you can twist, but I won't feed your ego. You shift from reaction to observation, because loudmouths thrive on energy. They want chaos. They want attention. But when you choose to listen instead of argue, you give them silence. And silence is the one thing they can't control. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That's the Stoic mindset in action. I'd rather listen than argue means you choose peace over pride, clarity over chaos. Now imagine this in real life. Someone's trying to provoke you. They want you to react, to prove your point. But instead, you look them in the eye and say softly, I'd rather listen than argue. What happens next? Silence. Confusion, respect, because they can't fight what doesn't fight back. The most powerful people in any room are not the loudest, they're the calmest. The ones who don't need to win arguments to feel valuable. Every time you use this phrase, you break free from emotional manipulation. You protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. So next time someone tries to drag you into a useless debate, remember, peace is not passive. It's strategy. Say it with calm authority. I'd rather listen than argue. You're not losing the battle. You're ending it on your terms. If you're tired of wasting energy on toxic people and want to master emotional boundaries through Stoicism, subscribe right now. Join a community that chooses silence as strength and wisdom over noise, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is almost nothing at all. Phrase number 2. You might be right. There's a special kind of silence that confuses manipulators, not the silence of fear, but of wisdom. And it begins with 4 simple words. You might be right. Now at first this sounds like surrender, like you're giving up your power. But in Stoic philosophy, this phrase is not about losing. It's about rising above the noise. You see, loudmouths and toxic people feed on your resistance. They want you to fight back, to prove them wrong, to defend every word. Because the moment you start arguing, you're already on their leash, emotionally reactive, drained and off balance. But when you calmly say, "You might be right," something powerful happens. You take away the fuel. You stop feeding their ego. You shift the entire conversation from chaos to control, your control. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." That's exactly what this phrase does. It turns their storm into your serenity, because sometimes silence isn't enough. You need a verbal shield, something that ends the noise without aggression. This phrase is your emotional boundary, your invisible armor. It tells the manipulator, "I'm not playing your game." When you say "you might be right," you aren't agreeing. You're disengaging. You're showing emotional intelligence, control, and the calm confidence that Stoic communication is built upon. And here's the magic. Most people expect resistance. When they don't get it, they lose power. That's when you win, not by shouting, but by outsmarting. Next time a loudmouth narcissist or toxic person tries to bait you into arguing, remember this. Power isn't in proving them wrong. It's in staying grounded while they lose themselves. So take a breath, look them in the eye, and say it softly. You might be right. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's not surrender, it's strategy. And it's how Stoics silence chaos without saying much at all. If you're learning how to stay calm, build Stoic boundaries, and protect your energy from manipulators, make sure you subscribe right now. Because peace isn't given, it's practiced. And every phrase you master takes you one step closer to emotional freedom. There's a moment in every argument when you realize it's not about truth anymore. It's about ego, about someone desperate to win, even if nothing real is at stake. That's when Stoic wisdom whispers a line that ends the noise without raising your voice. Phrase number 3. Let's come back to this when it matters. It's simple, polite, disarming, but beneath those words lies one of the most powerful Stoic communication tools ever. A boundary that protects your time, your peace, and your emotional energy. You see, toxic people love urgency. They create fake importance, pulling you into meaningless debates, emotional traps, or endless discussions that go nowhere. But when you say, "Let's come back to this when it matters," you shatter that illusion. You're not rejecting them, you're rejecting the chaos. You're reminding both of you that not everything deserves your energy right now. In Stoicism, this is called emotional detachment. Not in a cold way, but in a controlled way. It's about choosing when, where, and if something deserves your attention. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You always own the option of having no opinion." That's what this phrase does. It gives you control over when to engage and when to preserve your calm. Imagine you're dealing with a loudmouth at work. They're going in circles, defending their point like their life depends on it. You smile, stay centered, and say, "Let's come back to this when it matters." You instantly remove their power. The heat drops. The tension dissolves. Because you've shifted the battlefield. From emotion to reason, it's one of the strongest emotional boundaries you can set. And here's the secret. Boundaries don't have to be walls. They can be doors. You're not shutting people out. You're simply choosing when to open the door again. In relationships, this phrase is even more powerful. Sometimes arguments happen in moments of anger, exhaustion, or fear. You can't solve something real in a fake emotional state. So you pause it. You give it space. You say, let's come back to this when it matters, when we're calm enough to hear each other. That's emotional intelligence in action. That's Stoicism practiced in real life. It's not avoidance, it's awareness. Because not every battle is worth your peace. Not every opinion needs your reaction. Not every loudmouth deserves your energy. When you use this phrase, you tell the world, my peace is not up for negotiation. And that's something the modern world rarely understands. The courage to walk away from noise. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise. So next time someone tries to pull you into an argument, remember this line. Say it slowly, calmly, with authority. Let's come back to this when it matters. You'll feel the shift. The conversation loses its fire. And you stay centered, untouchable, stoic. You've just learned one of the most powerful stoic boundaries to silence manipulation and protect your energy. If you're ready to master more phrases like this, real tools for inner strength, calm confidence, and stoic mindset, make sure to subscribe right now, because in a world addicted to noise, silence is your superpower. And wisdom is knowing exactly when to speak. Let's take a moment to breathe and remember what we've learned. 3 simple phrases, each one a key to peace in a world addicted to noise. The first, I'd rather listen than argue. It teaches you the power of restraint, that not every fight deserves your energy, and silence can speak louder than any defense. The second, you might be right. It reminds you that you don't need to win every argument to stay strong. By choosing calm over chaos, you protect your peace while the other person exhausts theirs. And the third, let's come back to this when it matters. It's your permission to step away from the noise, to choose timing, self-control, and clarity over reaction. Together, these phrases form the core of Stoic communication: strength through composure, control through silence, and confidence through emotional intelligence. Remember this: silence is not weakness. It's strategy. The loudest voice doesn't win. The calmest mind does. So the next time a loudmouth, manipulator, or toxic person tries to drag you into their chaos, don't fight back. Rise above it. Respond with calm strength. And let your peace become the one thing they can't control. And if this message resonated with you, if you're ready to master more Stoic boundaries that stop manipulation, rebuild emotional control, and strengthen your mindset, watch my next video. Boundaries that stop manipulation, because real power isn't found in noise, it's built in silence. And once you learn to master that silence, no one can use words to shake your peace again.